Campbell and Johnson gonna talk about sports today. You can disagree, I don't care what you have to say. Bet by odds, you know how Vegas play. 5 days go by, then you have the last say. Stephen A. and his sidekick Max, Nick Wright and Jenna get taxed. Shannon and Skip, Marcellus in the back. Big Whitlock got fired where you at. These sports reporters ain't giving you the facts. Don't bet your life cause you won't get it back. It's the Last Say podcast, that's where it's at. It's the Last Say, have a nice day. It's the Last Say, it's the Last Say. Yo Boogeyman by KC and the Sunshine Band. Well, let's start it off. We got the NBA playoffs back.
Exciting.
It's been so exciting. After 1 week, no one knew how it was going to be with these computer-generated fans and all of these crowd noise, sound effects, but it is on and cracking.
The players are showing up.
The players are showing up. We're going to start it off with the Celtics versus the Sixers. The Celtics is up 3-0 in that series. I don't think the Sixers have enough to come back. I think they're depleted. I think they're not excited, not motivated in this series.
You can say that.
Have you been watching this series? What you think?
I think the Sixers are just outmatched. I think Boston is showing that their system is starting to come through now with the players. There's no Kyrie, there's no selfish ball now. They know who's doing what. The team is, I guess you can say, meshing together. The Sixers are hurt right now. No Ben Simmons. They let Jimmy Butler go. Tobias Harris getting all this money, not showing up. No JJ Redick. The Sixers is like a whole new team, and Joel Embiid is trying. But it's just not enough. Boston's too much right now. Joel Embiid is doing all he can, but he doesn't have the players around him. Nobody's making plays.
Yeah.
Nobody's stepping up.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker, and the rest of them boys are just doing what they want.
Yeah. They're just having their way with them. And then another series. Yeah, that should be over today. So the next time we speak, the Celtics should be moving on into the second round.
Right. Hopefully you just finish them off now.
Utah against the Nuggets.
Oh, yeah. I caught that right there.
You did call that. I thought Denver would give them a little bit more fight.
You thought Denver was going to sweep them.
And Utah, what could I say? You got Donovan Mitchell going crazy. They have no answer for that boy.
His confidence is sky high right now.
Sky high. They lead the series 2-1. I think they'll go ahead and finish that off. I'd really be surprised if Denver win another game in that.
No, well, you can't say that. Denver is supposed to be the better team. They're going to have some type of confidence to come back and try to make it a series. If Utah wins tonight, then it's over for Denver. Then if they go up 3-1, Denver's not doing shit. It's a wrap.
Yeah, I agree. Then moving down, we got the Clippers versus the Mavericks.
Oh, versus Luca.
The Clippers are up 2-1 in that series.
The Clippers versus Luca, you mean?
The Clippers versus Luca. After Game 3, Luca sprained his ankle, had to leave the game, tried to come back in and play, had to leave again. I don't know how effective he can be with a sprained ankle.
He's a young trooper. He's young. He's 21, 22 years old. He's built for this. He got some rehab, got that stem, went took them ice baths. He'll be ready to go to this is playoffs. His blood is pumping. He didn't have to get on no plane, anything like that. He's just able to go from the court to the training room, back to the hotel room, probably getting around the clock treatment. I think Luka will be okay. I think it's time for Kristaps to step up. I think the rest of the team got to start playing better defense, and I think Dallas can get him. But Kawhi is being Kawhi, and then you got punk ass Paul George talking about he affects the game and more than just scoring. No, you were brought there to score. You
right.
out there looking like a bootleg Scottie Pippen.
Well, it's been playoff George. I mean, he had a good Game 1, and then he's disappeared after that. In Game 2 and Game 3, he was. I don't think he scored a point in the first half in the last game. Was it Game 3?
I don't believe it because he didn't finish. He only finished with like 11 or something like that. He went 2 for 13, 2 for 11.
But,
it was bad.
But lucky they got Kawhi and Lou Williams. Lou Williams will score enough to keep everybody, keep that team honest.
Well, hell,
Because Lou Williams is pretty much a starter.
Dude,
A starter coming off the bench.
Paul George is getting more in his 1 year than what Lou Williams is getting throughout the whole contract with the Clippers.
That is true. He's a max player.
So you got to step up and be a max player in the playoffs. You don't get to disappear.
Enough with these Clippers, them chumps. We moving on. We got the Raptors versus the Nets. Raptors up in that series, 3-0.
That's easy.
I mean, come on, Toronto ain't the defending champs for no reason at all. They're outmatched in every position.
They were like on a 15-game winning streak before the bubble hit. They were killing people before the bubble hit. They smashed the Lakers before the bubble hit. They were killing everybody. Toronto was on a run. Nick Nurse, if he got Coach of the Year, I wouldn't be surprised because he has Toronto balling. Pascal Siakam is playing out his mind. He's looking like a go-to player now. Let's see if he can do it against some real competition against Boston. You say, or whoever they play next round. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a nice. Toronto's doing their thing. You got to give it to them. Toronto's killing people. So let's see what they do against either Miami or it looks like it's gonna be Boston next round.
Yeah, well, I have Toronto winning the East, so we'll see. Everybody has Milwaukee. I think I have Toronto. Moving right along.
Milwaukee got to get past Orlando.
Speaking about Milwaukee versus the Magic, they're up 2-1 in that series. I think Giannis back. It was a wake-up call. They came out in Game 1 flat, dead, and Orlando took advantage of that, and they beat them, slapped them in the mouth. But since then, Giannis has been on fire. Chris Middleton is waking up. Bledsoe is hustling and playing some good ball. So I can't see Orlando.
I can see Orlando sneaking the game tonight.
No.
I can see Orlando getting.
No.
Vujicic is a
No.
baller. Evan
No.
Fournier is a baller.
No.
Terrence Ross is a baller.
No.
They got some hoopers down there.
They not winning that game.
Pete, well, I got Orlando winning, tying it up. Vujicic is about to
You
go
got
at
Orlando
25
tying
and
it
11.
up tonight?
Yeah, 25
we can
and
bet
11.
on that.
25 and 11.
We could bet a shot on that.
What time do they play? They got the evening game.
We could bet a shot on that game because I don't think they will win. But I don't want to stay.
Oh, they play tomorrow. We got the Raptors, Nets today, the Nuggets, and the Jazz.
We got
and the Clippers. And
Rockets play the Thunder. The Rockets is up
Oh.
2-1 in that series.
Okay.
And everybody knows
OKC stole one.
Houston's. And everybody knows Houston is sweeping them right now without Russell Westbrook. I mean, well, I'm sorry. They're up 2-1. OKC stole one from them last night
Right.
with the good play of Chris Paul. stepping up.
Overtime game, so it wasn't like it was just a clean 4-quarter win.
So I have the Rockets winning the next game. I'll be surprised if OKC tie it up 2-2, but we will see. Westbrook's still out. Don't know when he's coming back.
And that's crazy because the knock on James Harden was he never would show up in the playoffs, and right now he's doing his thing, and people are not really talking about it because he's winning. He's up 2-1. I guess they're gonna knock him when they say it's because it's against OKC, but hey, Chris Paul over there got them young boys playing. So if James Harden win this series without Russell, you gotta kind of give him some credit because he's literally doing it by himself with no other superstar or all-star. James Harden is doing his thing, and nobody's talking about it. And I feel that's kind of like some hate.
Well, I will give James Harden credit. He is balling right now, but so is the rest of those brothers on that team. Your boy Austin Rivers is playing.
AR.
Good ball. Who was the other?
You got Eric Gordon.
Eric Gordon.
They got some
Green.
They got some players. They got some players.
They got some ballers over there, and everybody's putting in their 2 cent.
They got Robert Covington.
Everybody's balling right now. It's sometimes I wonder where do some of these teams find these second string players that are good. They come off the bench hitting threes, making shots.
Well, it's like the coach that gives you the confidence and the freedom. He tells you go out there. If you got an open shot, take it. He don't care who you are, just shoot it. If you out there on the wing, shoot it. And when you got a coach telling you that, you have the utmost confidence. Like, I'm gonna let this bad boy go. They play what, 13 seconds or less? Basketball. They want to score in 13 seconds or less. Mike D'Antoni may have slowed it up since then, but that's always been his motto: is he wants to score in 13 seconds or less.
And I think that's gonna hurt him in the long run because you can't play basketball like that. Moving on, you got the Indiana Pacers against the Miami Heat. The Heat is up 3-0 in that series. They should finish it off. I think Jimmy Butler is a franchise player. He's one of the top, I would say, 5 or 6 two-way players in the league.
Grinding his way to the top, too.
I mean, he's putting a hold on, who is it?
T.J. Warren.
T.J. Warren.
Who was supposed to have been on fire in the bowl.
Before that, the playoffs, he was what? He went from a 20-point average to a 30-point average, 10-point increase.
Well, Jimmy Butler gave you a preview what he was going to do to him when they played in the bubble before the playoffs started. Jimmy Butler shut that shit down. And now they're in the playoffs, Jimmy Butler like, I'm still going to shut this shit down.
And now he can't score a lick. It's just amazing how good of defense he's got on for it.
Jimmy Butler literally came from the bottom. He literally grinded all the way from, a second round pick or a late first round or something like that. He grinded to become a star, to where he was headbutting, like him and D Rose were going at it. And to see where he's at now, he's proven to people, I'm a franchise player. Like you said, he can carry a team. It's in the East, but yet he's still doing it. You got to give the man credit. So, yeah, Jimmy Butler is a fortified baller.
Jimmy Butler is great.
Yeah,
if you really think about it, wouldn't you rather have him on the Lakers as a third option right now?
Oh, my goodness.
LeBron, AD, and Jimmy Butler.
To be honest, I think he'd be the number one.
I was just talking about it earlier this week. I said I think we slipped on Jimmy Butler because he was available. Because think about it. We paid Green $15 million. We paid Caldwell Pope $8 million. That's $23. I think he would have came for $23 million a year, even if we would have had to give him $25. $100 million for 4 years. You don't think he would have came?
We probably could have dumped another contract and got that.
Right. You don't think he would have came $100 million for 4 years
Yeah.
to play with AD and LeBron and be with LA and go for a championship run?
And be the number one option.
Come on.
I think LeBron is in the mode of playing Magic Johnson now.
Right.
He wants to run the point and give it off and let people score. I think Jimmy Butler be number one option, then AD be number two, because Jimmy Butler going to go get it. But I watch Jimmy Butler play, and Jimmy Butler, you don't have to so much run plays for him because...
No, he going to get it. He's great.
Right. He's like somebody is shooting and miss. He's going to go get the offensive rebound, put it back up.
Right.
Or he's going to fight. He's going to cut. He's going to make an open cut. And if he knows how to play with the ball and off the ball.
And he doesn't take a lot of three-point shots.
But he can hit them always when
He
he
took
does.
like 2 in one game and hit them both, and his teammates was like, take more.
He can shoot.
Right.
He's a baller. But that's because he wasn't the man when he came into the league. I think he's still figuring out how to be a franchise player, like how you have to just take bad shots sometimes. Being a franchise player, sometimes you take bad shots because you're just going to take so many shots. And once he get into that, bag, Jimmy Butler's going to be a problem.
And last but not least, we got the LA Lakers against the Portland Trail Blazers. Everybody was hyping up the Blazers. Damian Lillard, after they came out and beat the Lakers in Game 1, the Lakers has bounced back in the Game 2 and 3, and now they're up in the series 2-1.
Coasting, cruising, big body out there like a big body Cadillac, just out there just cruising, doing whatever he wants. Me and my coworker watched the game last night, and we were like, LeBron isn't doing anything. But then the thing pop up, LeBron has 20-something, 12 boards, 10 assists. We like, oh damn, we're like 9 of 15 from the field. We like, oh damn, my bad, LeBron. I apologize.
Well, that's just it. He's so good, he can have that's mediocre for him. Because you want him to score 35, 40. But
he doesn't have to.
Let's talk about the Lakers starting lineup after Game 1. It goes back to me saying, why is Caldwell Pope in the starting lineup?
Defense.
I think they should put Kuzma in that spot and have Kuzma start and Caldwell Pope come off the bench. What do you think about that?
No. Look, Caldwell Pope is out there for strictly defense. He's starting to come around now to where he's hitting an open shot. So he can't. I was down on Caldwell Pope. I was down on Caruso. I was like, dude, throw them dudes in the trash. Let Deion Waiters play some more. Let J.R. Smith play some more. But I understand that KCP and them are chasing around Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum all game. They're tired. They're working on defense, trying to get these dudes to take bad shots, terrible shots. So when they come down on offense, I mean, they kind of like taking a breath because they figure LeBron and AD is going to do all the work on offense. If we do all the work on defense, then we expect them to do their job. But at the same time, you're a pro, you're wide up in the corner, make the damn three. You're shooting all these threes, make it. If anything, I see Dwight Howard down there with his arms wide open, having to do post and seal, but yet you don't throw him the ball. You shoot a badass three, and you can see the frustration on Dwight Howard's face because they're not throwing the ball down low.
Right.
And that's probably why AD doesn't post up, because he figured like these dudes don't know how to throw the ball to the post.
Yeah.
Like this, you have certain players that scared to throw the ball to the post, and that's probably why AD is always popping out or flaring out to the high post or 3-point line, because he figured they could make that easy pass. How can you mess this up? How can you not see me and not wide open?
Okay, but what about, I know it pissed you off, going back to Game 1.
Oh, yeah.
Late in the fourth quarter, the Lakers was up by 4. Caldwell Pope and Alex Caruso come down and pull up, and both of them took threes. Both of them missed. And we're talking about in the last 3 to 4 minutes in the ball game.
Clutch playoff game.
Why are, number one, both of those players in there at the same? I'm not even going to say why are they both in the game. Why are they both in there at the same time at the end of an important game and late in the fourth quarter? When I can see if they were balling throughout the game. They were what, 1 for 15 between the two of them that night?
They were bad.
So why would you have the game? This is when it comes down to coaching. Popovich would have been pulled their monkey asses up out of the game. He would not have continued to play them.
Yeah.
You got to know when a player don't have it that night.
I was trying to figure out why Deion Waiters and them didn't play that night.
Why Deion Waiters didn't play.
Why he shelved them. But you saw Game 2, he made adjustments like you do in the playoffs and as a coach. A great coach would probably make the adjustment at halftime. He had to wait a whole game to see what he had, test the waters.
Right.
He came back Game 2, they changed it up.
Right.
And
well, you see what happened last night in Game 3. Back to Caruso and CP3. Caldwell Pope.
He won.
We did.
We tapped that.
And I will, to his defense, they both had pretty good games.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
game 2, dude, we won by almost, 30 points in game 2?
well, I'm talking about game 3. Caldwell Pope hit 3 3-pointers in one quarter. I had never seen him do that before. So, hats off to Caldwell Pope in that game.
I'm just amazed how LeBron is still not even turned it up yet. LeBron is really just out there cruising.
Yeah, he's cruising right now. He's got some Laker fans mad. Oh, he needs to do more. Oh, he's not giving it his all.
Man, we won about 30 points. You can do what you want, bro.
And I think you have to cruise in this game because he's got look.
They have never had to play. Well, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I don't remember last time in NBA history where they have played a game every other day. Imagine what kind of like switch up to a routine. We all have our routine.
Well, no, it always starts off like that.
No, but
Yeah.
when they would travel, they get like 3 days off.
No, it always starts off like that every other day when the playoffs first start. Then it start getting less games.
I don't ever remember the Lakers playing on a Monday. They're playing on a Wednesday. They're playing on a Friday.
Right. It's every other day, like you say, right, instead of every 2 to 3 days. And not only that, this is the first time where no game has overlapped another game. Sometimes you had games starting within an hour of each other. So you got to take your pick which one I'm going to watch.
Right.
Because of the bubble, now they don't start. They let that game end before they start another one. We've been having 4 games every day starting 10 o'clock Eastern time every morning. 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
Right.
West Coast time. Every morning.
But what sucks for the East Coast people, they have games that start at 9 o'clock. Like when it starts at 6 o'clock for us, it starts at 9 o'clock for them. But I guess they're used to that. They've been doing it. Like when we have playoff games out here in LA. Well, if the actual games were out here in the city and we had home court advantage, the game would start at 7:30. So they would have to wait till 10:30. So they're kind of getting love that the game is starting an hour early now at 9 o'clock as opposed to 10. So you'd be asleep before midnight.
So, what do you say? So you're saying if you're the Lakers, everything's fine. Don't panic.
Yeah.
Just let it ride.
Let's just let it ride.
Okay.
We're number one team in the West Coast. We're number one team in the Western Conference. We're only behind Milwaukee in the NBA. We're obviously we played defense. I watched one sequence last night where only players run back on fast break. It was like 2 or 3 players from Portland, and all the Lakers was busting back. They were rotating on defense. Portland kept trying to pass the ball to get open shots, and they kept rotating, hustling, and then they got the rebound. I was like, oh yeah, the Lakers are playing crazy defense right now. Mm-hmm. I love the Lakers defense. I'm in love with it. We're shutting down Portland, who's a high-scoring team. We probably have the best points per game against us by anybody in the playoffs.
Yeah, and speaking of the playoffs, want to talk about the Clippers and Mavericks series. It started off a little
cheating ass refs in the first game.
Chippy.
Like a motherfucker.
After it all started when Morris shoved Luka. Porzingis came over to defend him and shoved Morris.
I think he took care of his man.
And gets kicked out of the game. Where clearly Morris was the instigator.
Right.
And Zubac had also shoved a player, and he didn't get kicked out the game. The game just seemed a little bit fishy to me. It seemed like from that point on, all the calls were going in the Clippers' favor.
Yeah.
The Clippers were behind. The Clippers were down 15. Then all of a sudden they start getting every call. Porzingis get kicked out.
For another BS tech.
It's just ridiculous how they call techs today. That referee should have been suspended for the next game.
He got the first tech for arguing a block, and he argued it so, like, it wasn't even negative the way he did. I've seen way worse. Like, just watch Draymond Green talk to the ref. Porzingis barely did anything, and they gave him a tech for it. Like, as soon as he did it, he was like, dude, this is the playoffs. Let it go.
But I have to give Dallas credit. They came back in game 2. They say you ain't going to bully us. You're not going to punk us. and they outscored the Clippers. Luka played his ass off. Porzingis played his ass off. What's his name? Tim Hardaway Jr.
Seth Curry
was balling. Seth Curry. I mean, they all contributed to that game.
Yeah, that was a team win.
That was a team win. And I think they held Paul George. He was scoreless in the first half. There you go, playoff Paul.
Coochie George.
I hope he do the same crap against when the Lakers meet him. But it seems like
What sucks is they got an easy route to the finals until they play us.
yeah, they got a much easier route than the Lakers. I mean, we're gonna have to beat. I think it's Houston next in the second round.
Well, like you said, we have a tough road. We have to play Portland, who's not supposed to be AFC. Then next round we got to play Houston. Then next round we got to play the Clippers. Then the next round we got to play the finals. It's like, dude, how can you question our road to this championship? You can put an asterisk next to it if you want to, but the Lakers have a tough playoff championship road.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough getting there, but I think we can get there as long as we don't have no more injuries. Rondo was supposed to play yesterday. He's back from the broken thumb, but he had back spasms. So listening to some of the other former players, they said he was just trying to do too much, rushing back, and give him a day or two, and he should be fine.
So maybe he's just too excited.
Now Boston, they then lost Gordon Hayward, who sprained his ankle, and it's severe enough that they're saying 4 to 5 weeks. So that you're talking maybe the whole playoffs.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that.
And the thing is, so Boston doesn't have Gordon Hayward, and the Sixers are still struggling with Boston. That's the crazy thing about that.
Yeah, it is.
So how you feel about Jason Tatum?
Tatum's a stud. I mean,
Do you see future superstar in him?
yeah. And the reason I'm gonna go always root for Tatum, he went to the great late Kobe Bryant for help. I remember the Laker players were getting mad in the organization. Why are you helping the Celtic?
Right.
And Kobe said, because he came to me. And if you look at his game, he's starting to remind me of Kobe.
Well, they say his favorite player was Kobe growing up. They say everything he did was like Kobe. So, yeah, I agree with you. And he went to go work with Kobe. So, hey, even though he's a Celtic and I'm a Laker fan, and I shouldn't be rooting for the kid, maybe I'm rooting for him for some reason that I think maybe he'll come to the Lakers.
And
maybe he'll come to be a Laker once his contract is up.
And speaking on the Philadelphia 76ers, the former NFL running back Brian Westbrook was upset because Boston was destroying the Sixers, and late in the game, Jaylen Brown did a 360 dunk in a blowout. So he said that's bad sportsmanship.
Shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Westbrook, are you serious? Let these players have fun.
Nigga, let me get my dollars.
Come on, y'all out there dancing and doing skits and plays in the end zone. But the minute a player try to do a fancy duck, you get upset.
Man, dude, that's his commercial bit. When he do a commercial, when he do something for his shoe, they're going to use him doing that 360 in the playoffs, win, dunk doing that 360. Let this kid live.
So boo on you, Westbrook.
Shut the fuck up, you big baby. And you a football player at that, and you complain about sports. If you don't kiss my ass.
And not needed Kenny Smith said Damian Lillard had longer range than Steph Curry. Steph Curry, I'm sorry, not Steph.
The chef.
Steph Curry. Are you out of your damn mind? Steph Curry was the one that changed the game of basketball.
It started this 3-point shit.
Started not only this 3-point frenzy, but it started these half-court circus shots. Now everybody's 5 feet behind the 3-point line.
Yeah.
Now I will give it, Damian, he's having a good year. What can you say? He's balling.
Let the chef come back next year.
But
the chef had an off year this year.
It's just like they said about Curry. Curry's got championships.
MVP.
MVP of the league.
Yeah,
Damian Lillard hasn't got any championships. He hasn't even got to the championship. And I know you want to talk about KD, but hell, he got there twice before.
He did all this without KD.
Hey, they did this before KD got there.
He got his 2 MVPs before
So
KD.
before you can make a statement like that, I mean, he was the inventor of the long shot.
Yeah.
So I can't take that away from him. And not only that, he's made more 3-pointers than anybody in the last, I think, 3 or 4 years.
Dude, I don't even care about the threes that Steph hit are demoralizing. Them long threes, Damon hit them every once in a while, but he shoots them a lot from what it looks like. And he hasn't been hitting in the last couple of games because the Lakers shouldn't. When Steph is on, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, so I think you're wrong on that one, Kenny Smith. Thumbs down. Thumbs down to Charles Barkley, you fat fuck. Talking about you like McDonald's Chicken McNuggets. If you don't stop it with McDonald's Chicken McNuggets, who the fuck eat that horse shit?
That shit is gross.
And you a millionaire eating that junk. That ain't even chicken. I don't even think it's soy.
That shit is a fucking paste.
Fuck
that.
Talking about he gets Chicken McNuggets, a large fry, and a Diet Coke.
You fat bastard.
You'll eat any fucking thing.
Ass and all that.
You got the nerve. You got the fucking nerve to bet Shaq $500 in game 1 that Portland beat the Lakers. Okay, I give you that you won that game. But then when you said Portland would sweep the Lakers, come on, Chuck.
He's a hater. He's always been a LeBron hater. He's been hating on LeBron since he came in, saying LeBron doesn't want to compete and things like that. He took shot at Kobe. So you know Chuck is just going to be that fat nigga that just want to talk shit and be on the opposite ends of things.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why he's the only person on that panel without a ring.
Mm-hmm. And, well, I want to talk, shout out to LZ. He was one of the first that said sit Danny Green
Boo, LZ.
and put in Kuzma.
Thumbs down, LZ.
But I'm just giving him a shout out because you ain't on the Keyshawn show no more. So I gotta just keep your name relevant, my brother. But yeah, it's the reason they took you off of his show.
Well, no, I give him thumbs down because
exactly
he said that AD was not a playoff performer.
Right, and he played his ass off in game 2 and in game 3 in the third and fourth quarter. So LZ,
don't jump off that. Don't jump off that bridge too soon, son.
Right, and ESPN host Ramona Shelburne said the Lakers don't need to do anything to their lineup. Don't keep it like it is.
As far as the starters or bench too?
As far as the starters. And I'm sorry, I think I gotta disagree with that. I think you gotta tweak it. I think, and she may have been talking, I don't know, maybe she was talking about the second rotation too. But I think...
No, I'll disagree with the second rotation, but the starters, I agree with her. Leave as it. Because what is the White starting now, or is it still JaVale McGee?
JaVale McGee is starting in the Lakers run.
So that's probably the only thing I would switch up that I've been hating all year. Let Dwight play with LeBron and AD more. Stop waiting until later on. Let them play dominant.
It's almost like he wants to have a dominant second string so he keeps some of those
But
players.
they don't even use Dwight in the second.
Right.
They jack up all these bad. Kuzma comes in and Kuzma is automatic rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Kuzma touch and shoot. As soon as he touch that ball, it's gone. He touch and go, baby. He's not thinking about passing at all. I think you need to put Dwight. Maybe that's what's a good thing when Rondo comes back. Rondo's going to help Dwight out a lot.
And TNT analyst Jeff Van Gundy said the referees are doing a great job and he hopes they get a raise. You blind fuck.
I hope he was being sarcastic.
I mean, come on. They clearly missed the call in the Portland game where Portland scores, they call a timeout, and then coming out from that timeout, they gave Portland the ball. And LeBron got off the bench yelling and screaming
It's our ball.
till they realized they had a mistake. Now, come on.
That was terrible. That was terrible.
But they need a raise. All these games been questionable calls, and you talk about give them a raise.
These refs are super rusty. It's almost like the bubble games were preseason for them. They need to get back into the field and realize this is playoff basketball. They need to call this game like the playoffs and not like a regular season game.
Yeah, so Van Gundy, thumbs down to you.
Yeah, that was bad.
I mean, you analysts and reporters, y'all just say some stupid stuff sometimes. I'm disagreeing with you. And Greeny, ESPN host, he has his own show, and he said if he started an NBA team, he would take Luka. Now, he interviewed two former NBA players, former colleagues, Jalen Rose and Kenny Smith. And they both told him that they would take Giannis.
Yeah.
And he still was trying to, really, you wouldn't take Luka? Man, Giannis is probably the...
His ceiling, his skill set, he's still learning how to play basketball. Wait till he finally gets that package, because he looks like he wants to learn and get better. Dude, Giannis is unstoppable, dude. He's a dog out there. I wish AD had Giannis's mentality, because AD has a more better skill finished product than Giannis. Because Giannis ain't gonna sit back and shoot on threes. Giannis is going to the hole. Giannis gonna get as close to the rim as he can and dump that mess. And as good as Luka is, Luka isn't as good as Giannis, dude. Look, Giannis controls the defense at the end of the game. He blocks shots, steal the ball. He's gonna guard your point to your center. Luka can't do that.
Yeah, I right. I mean, you just said it. Defense. He's just more athletic. He's faster. Jump higher. And like you said, Luka doesn't play defense like that. He can pretty much shut down players if he wants to.
Right.
Once he get a shot, once he learn how to shoot on a consistent level, knock down them threes, he's gonna be probably the best player in the league. I give him another year or two. Keyshawn Johnson has his own show.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he's getting comfortable now, because he mentions that he's got a daughter that's gay. Really, Keyshawn? We need to hear that?
Right.
Talk about some sports. Care what your daughter.
I guess that's kind of giving him the open gateway to say what he wants without people coming after him, because he's like, hey, my daughter's gay.
Right.
Just like a white guy, like, I got a black friend.
Right.
Nigga.
Right. It's just, I don't get that.
Stop playing semantics, motherfucker. Just do your show. There's no point in needing that shit to know.
Right.
Do your fucking show.
Cincinnati Reds broadcaster gets suspended for saying a gay slur. I have no idea what he said. Apparently, they came back from a commercial break. He didn't think his mic was on. He said something. They caught it. He announced a couple more innings. Then they pulled him off the air. Yeah. So.
Well, the Charlotte Hornets broadcaster tweeted out the Denver Nuggets versus the Niggers or something like that when they played against the Jazz, and they suspended him.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, how would that be reviewed in your autocorrect, niggers?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. Former MLB star Cal Ripken Jr. said he beat cancer. He had it.
Oh, congrats.
Tumor. They took it out.
That's
and
cool.
now he's cancer free.
That's dope.
The Washington football team, Ron Rivera, head coach of the Washington football team, says he has cancer, but he plans on still coaching.
Fight on, coach.
Fighting that stupid disease while coaching.
Did Ron Rivera go to USC or no? That was Jack Del Rio, huh?
That was Jack Del Rio.
That's Jack Del Rio, okay.
Washington also hired the first black president in the NFL.
Oh, they trying to make moves. They trying to make a PR recovery.
So we all know Jason Wright, former player. I believe he played cornerback or one of the positions. I think he played in the league for several years. But he's the first black NFL president.
Jason White?
Jason Wright.
I have to look him up and see who that is. But congrats to him. Big move right there.
Well, you know why they did that. He's trying to get his sponsors and more sponsors. It's all.
That was a smart move. Only if that black man is really in charge.
Right. That's what Stephen A. said. I mean, how many shots are you really gonna call?
Right.
Are you in charge of the draft? And he said, hey, Ron Rivera is in charge of the team as far as the personnel and all that's concerned. So
what's this guy gonna do? Be over the business side?
I guess so.
Well, hopefully he has some type of. Hopefully he's just not a face.
Let's see. Going back to ESPN host and guest, what's his name? Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark says Tom Brady can play till he's 45 years old. Are you out your damn mind, Ryan? He looked bad last season. What makes you think he gonna go another 3-4 years? Come on, man, get out of here.
Well, it depends on how he looks this year and my guy's system down there, Big Red system. Well, not Andy Reid, but the Bruce Arians system, with all those weapons he has around him. If Tom Brady balls out this year, he's gonna play another year. For sure. If he does bad this year and Tampa doesn't make the playoffs, that can either motivate him to when he come back, or then maybe like his wife is trying to hang it up because people are going to trash him so bad.
And give it up for Drew Pearson, former Cowboy wide receiver, finally made it into the NFL Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
He'll be the class of 2021.
Congrats.
A long deserved wait. Finally.
Yeah, how did they know already?
Well, I believe he was on him and somebody else. I forget. It was a coach that got
What that little old time thing in?
Selected. They've announced it already.
Okay.
Speaking of the Cowboys, defensive tackle McCoy got injured in non-contact drill in practice. He had signed a 3-year, $18 million contract.
That was a nice deal.
The Cowboys ended up cutting him. Jerry Jones, smart businessman, had in the contract, get injured, contract void. So we can go out and get somebody else.
Well, that makes a spot open for the newly released Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas just got released from the Baltimore Ravens. I believe it was his second incident regarding another player fighting. I don't know what he did or what, but apparently it was serious enough that they cut him. We can't have this troublemaker on the team fighting all the players. It happened last year. It happened this year. Earl, you too old to be acting like that, man.
Well, you're supposed to be a leader.
You're supposed to be a leader. Stop it with all that nonsense.
You have too much turmoil going on in your life with your wife pulling guns to your head, things like that. Come on, you got to get it together, man. You too good of a player. Get your shit in order. It looks like you felt like going to be a Cowboy. Jerry Jones, he lets a lot of things slide. Hopefully he kind of keeps the leash short with you and lets you know, put in your contract, you do this, you do that, you out of there. Because we have a Super Bowl caliber team and you're probably the missing piece. But we don't need you to come mess up things.
Right. And, that's it on sports, people. We've pretty much hit everything.
Happy birthday, Kobe Bryant.
Happy birthday, Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bryant,
the greatest NBA player of all time.
We'll see you next week. You can see Jimmy Jan ain't here. Anybody know a DJ? Email us. The last say 2020 at gmail.com.
Hit the link, take you to the podcast. Spread the word. Spread the word.
Spread the word.
Tell your friend. Hit us in, like you say. You don't call us, we call you. Shoot us an email, shoot us whatever you find us, how you find us. Just make sure you get at us so we can
leave your number, leave the topic that you want to discuss, and we'll call you and discuss that topic on the show. Till the next time, I'm your host, Old School. This is Drew. We'll see you next week. And we're going to end it with a jam session.
I be seeing you smoking. How that IE weather. Tilted brim like Goldie talking. Prior listening, my prior women had no remorse. When they tried to end them, no discourse, no discussion. I'm all alone. And all the people with the big hats on went home. So what you gonna do now, Goldie? Your bottom left you. It's up to me and you, Goldie. Do introspection. You ain't Goldie, you Nas. And my heart ain't cold as it was. And I go through multiple love triangles over and over. enough, I talk to my boxing trainer. He's my logic explainer. Conversations through our combinations. He told me stick and move, and different rules apply to different women. Some women's into licking women, some women's independent. Some women want brothers who educated. Some women want business leather seats that are perforated. Some do malevolent snake shit. If you can miss me with that fake shit.
Dialogue superb, flies cars on the curb. Word, when I evolved, a higher guard emerged, reserved, more subtle. Come from the stress and the struggle. Young then, obsessed in the bubble about it. Took advantage if a woman allowed it. Wanted to foul it, some would say I was childish, money driven, mischievous. I perceived it as living. Gifts and ribbons, any kisses on the lips were forbidden. I was on it. She curvy and shorty was cornered. No worries for the naughty, it was high performance. It wasn't really. The games that I was playing was silly. Similar to them days when I was packing that millie, it could've killed me. Caution never crossing my mind, she calling crime. Me, I'm more concerned why she ain't falling in line, was bugging. Grew a lot since they said I was stubborn. Guess it's real, even players need loving. When you enamored by female companions, there's no standards. What you hit and it's switch the dynamics, that's the damage. Reflecting no first impressions. What she expecting? Why when men don't follow directions? It's deception.
I was intrigued by fine women. I realized some were drop dead gorgeous, living a lie. Oblivious to beauty inside truly defines. Will you walk with me or are you there for the ride? For better or worse, every blessing and curse. Understand exotic sands come after the dirt. I was dealing since adolescent, thinking my girl was my possession. I stand corrected. It takes understanding and affection. Time is money, I need growth for my investment. I don't like attention unless it's a woman with majestic grace, like an empress in essence. Let's just chill, catch vibes in the grill, celebrating. Many of us never made it. Whatever brings you down won't elevate you. Like a real one beside you is very
He
gracious.
on the top 5, nigga dead or alive. Nigga a bitch, firm mafiosa shit. Ayo, Esco, name a bitch fucking with me. Did a bullet, came home, Brooklyn gave me the key. No cap though, facts though, nigga that's really rap though. Like really though, my nigga she really back though. Like really though, my nigga she really rap though. In my low ski lotion, nigga. Got my woo skis Logan, nigga. Calm digger, song loafers on my posters. Firm La Familia. First lady, nigga, Bonnie for real. Pussy power like Tasha, push Tommy to kill. Black Sheba, Philip Klein on the sneaker. Low in the two-seater, bitch, I spit ether. I'm saying my salons, what up? Got my 3 guards with me, so ladies, keep it a buck. La Familia.
Life, everything comes back around. You can kiss me with that face. Yeah, you can kiss me with that pit boy.